You finally get a raise, but somehow your wallet feels lighter than it did last year. That's the reality behind the headlines. The average teacher salary just hit $74,495, up 3.5%. New teachers got a bump too. Every headline called it a win. But is it really? That's the story they want you to believe. Pay is climbing. The gap is closing. Everything's getting better, or so they say. But here's the line they buried way down in the same report. Adjusted for inflation, teachers are earning about 5% less than they did in 2017. Your paycheck got bigger, but your life got smaller. So the raise on your pay stub is real. It happened, but the buying power behind it didn't grow. It shrank. Stick with me. I'm about to show you exactly how a real raise can mean less real money, and more importantly, how you can fight back with 3 powerful moves to protect your future. Let's start with the number that made headlines: $74,495. That's the new national average teacher salary, up 3.5% from the year before. New teachers saw their starting pay jump too, up to about $48,000. On paper, that looks like progress, and technically, it is. But nobody's telling you the whole story about what that raise really means for your bank account. Here's where it gets ugly. The same report ran the numbers differently. They took that $74,495 and compared it to what teachers made a decade ago, in 2017, adjusted for inflation. Not the sticker number, the real number. What that paycheck actually buys you at the grocery store, at the gas pump, on rent. The result? Teachers are earning almost 5% less in real terms than they did 10 years ago. Let that sink in. 10 years of headline-worthy raises, and yet teachers are still coming up short. Your money's worth less now than a decade ago. So how does a raise turn into a loss? It's the kind of math lesson they never teach, and trust me, it's not in any textbook. Say your salary went from $60,000 to $62,000 this year. That's a raise of about 3%. Feels good. You open your new pay stub and see a larger number. But if prices went up 4% that year, your money buys less, even with the raise. Groceries, rent, gas, they all eat up your extra dollars. You got a bigger paycheck, and somehow, a smaller life. Sound familiar? And it's not a one-year fluke. This slow drip has been compounding for almost a decade. Every year, a small raise. Every year, a bigger price tag. Stack 10 years of that, and you get the mess we're in now. Now here's the part most teachers are never told. It's not just inflation working against you. Your own district's budget has been quietly working against you too. Education spending per student has increased significantly over the past 2 decades. In some states, way up. So if there's more money flowing into schools than ever, where's it going, if not into your paycheck? 3 places. First, pension debt. States have underfunded teacher pensions for years, and now they're paying the bill. Nationally, teacher pension costs run around $83 billion a year. That works out to almost $1,700 per student. A big chunk of that isn't paying for your future pension. It's paying down old debt from promises made decades ago that were never properly funded. Employer contributions toward that pension debt alone have gone from about 2% of salary in 2001 to over 15% of salary today. That's money that used to be available for raises, now locked into covering a hole your district didn't dig but has to fill anyway. Second, staffing growth outside the classroom. Over the last 20 years, schools have added many non-teaching positions: counselors, aides, support staff, specialists. A lot of that growth came from real, necessary need, especially around special education and student support. But every one of those positions is also a paycheck, and every paycheck comes out of the same budget that's supposed to be raising your salary. Third, benefit costs. Health insurance and other employee benefits have gotten more expensive everywhere, not just in schools. Districts are paying more just to keep the same coverage they had before, and that money comes from the same pool, too. Put those three together, and here's what you get. More money than ever pouring into education, yet less and less reaching your pocket. It's not a conspiracy, but it sure feels like your raise is always the first thing to lose the budget battle. And it's not evenly spread across the country. 11 states have actually seen real inflation-adjusted pay increases since 2017. Washington leads that list, and the reason is specific. The state Supreme Court forced the legislature's hand, threatening a $100,000 a day fine if they didn't properly fund public education. That's what it took to move the needle in real terms. Most states haven't had that kind of pressure, and most states are still behind where they were a decade ago. Meanwhile, enrollment is falling nationwide. Fewer students are walking through the doors each year. That sounds like it should ease budget pressure, but it doesn't work that way in practice, because a lot of school costs are fixed no matter how many students show up. Buildings, debt payments, staffing minimums. So declining enrollment doesn't free up money for raises. If anything, it adds another claim on a budget that was already stretched. Here's why all of this matters way beyond just feeling tight this month. Your retirement, your pension, your savings, all of it gets calculated off your salary. If your real income has been quietly shrinking for 10 years, then everything built on top of that number has been shrinking too. Your contributions, your future benefit, your ability to put anything aside outside the pension system at all. This is the part nobody puts in the headline. When your real income shrinks year after year, it doesn't just sting now. It snowballs into your future and could cost you for the next 30 years. So, what can you actually do about this? 3 moves, each with a real check-it-off result, not just wishful thinking. Let's break them down. Move 1. Calculate your real raise. Take your raise percentage and subtract that year's inflation rate. That gives you one number, your real raise. If it's positive, you actually got ahead this year. If it's 0 or negative, your raise didn't beat inflation, no matter how big the number on your pay stub looked. Do this every year, and you'll have a real year-by-year record of whether you're actually gaining ground. Move 2. Pull your state's pension funding ratio. A 5-minute search for your state's teacher pension funded percentage and employer contribution rate. Write down 2 numbers. The result tells you how much of the new education funding in your state is going toward old pension debt instead of your salary. That's your evidence for whether raises in your state are likely to catch up to inflation anytime soon or stay stuck. Move 3. Build a number outside the pension. Take whatever your real raise number was from move 1. If it was 0 or negative, that's exactly the amount you need to find a way to set aside somewhere outside your pension this year, even if it's small. That's a specific dollar amount, not a vague goal, and it's the starting point for the plan I'm laying out in the next video. The raise is real. Don't let anyone tell you it isn't. But don't let the size of that number convince you that you're getting ahead when the math says otherwise. If this made you rethink your paycheck, smash that subscribe button. I break down the numbers your district won't touch. No spin, just the real story.